Welcome back to Rumi Gold, where quiet mastery begins. What if clarity was louder than strategy? What if you never needed more to feel full? What if wealth was already yours, but you forgot how to hold it? What if the game was never growth, but gravity? Or what if the richest man in the room was the one with the calmest breath, not the quickest mind? Today, we explore abundance, not as a tactic, but as a truth, not as another trick to stack on an already frantic calendar, but as something older, something unmistakable you feel in your bones, even before your mind believes it. Sit here for a second. Where in your life have you been running after things that only run away from you? How often have you filled your days, your head, your phone, your heart with new plans and old anxieties, still ending each night with the same quiet emptiness? When was the last time you slowed down enough to ask if the ladder you reclimbing is even up against the right wall? That's an inventory only you can take. No one else will do it for you, and the cost you already know it. The cost is in the shallow breathing, the endless refresh, the sense that no matter how much you achieve, you're still secretly hungry. It's in the tiny ways you rinse and repeat distraction just to escape the silence that could set you free. Let that land. There's a reason monks don't hustle and yet their life is abundant. Notice the contrast. The world teaches that more, faster, louder is always better. But the monk, he rises slow. He walks without urgency. Even sitting alone in his quiet room, he radiates sufficiencies, so the world brings him more to match it. There's nothing to prove. Let that breathe. You're not here to be motivated. You're here to remember. There's something in you that already knows the stillness is where real wealth begins. In a world that worships the hustle, you're invited to reclaim your peace. That's the discipline. There's a reason your shoulders feel heavy. A reason your mind spins even when the room is quiet. Most of us grew up surrounded by this unspoken law that if we just stack enough hours, enough actions, enough achievement, eventually we get to rest. Eventually we deserve more. That's the residue of the old world, the factory, the ledger. Output as proof, but underneath all that measurement, there's a kind of emptiness. A room with the lights on, but no one home. We tell ourselves, hustle is the way. If I don't push, nothing happens. If I slow down, I fall behind. But have you noticed what this pattern brings? We overfill our schedules until there's not a breath left. We say yes to everything, hoping more will add up to enough. And in the process, joy becomes a memory. Connection becomes a luxury. It's all just more motion, more chasing. You already know this. Let that echo. Think about Alex. 5 years in corporate sales, promotions, bonuses, the recognition, but also the chronic tension, missed evenings, weekends, blurred out by work emails and restless, hustling sleep. In every win, a quick high. In every quiet moment, a pounding question. Am I enough yet? One day, the body said no. Anxiety attacks in the bathroom, numbness during celebrations. He realized none of these trophies felt like anything, not in the bones. Alex had built a fortress of achievement, only to find himself locked inside. That's the discipline. Something broke open. He started spending silent mornings just sitting. No phone, no agenda. Just letting presence be the measure. He noticed. In 10 quiet minutes, life returned. Ideas came unforced. Calls were made from clarity, not pressure. He went from chasing opportunity to being met by it. The world responded not to his sprinting, but his stillness. That's the paradox. Money is energy, and energy listens for presence. Presence is the pulse, and there's nothing to prove. This isn't about motivation. It's about stepping off the seesaw. No more tying self-worth to whatever flooded in from outside. Once you see the pattern, you get to choose a subtler, older rhythm, one that creates more by doing less. Every morning, awareness is your first deposit. Every honest breath, a quiet wealth. You already know that. What happens if the very first thing you let touch your mind in the morning isn't a headline or a ping, but your own breath? What would it feel like if your day began as yours, not theirs, not the world's, but your own ritual, silent and sure? Really, picture this. You sit up, before looking at a screen, before movement. You meet the day in stillness. You listen not to the noise, but to the soft sound of air entering and leaving your nose. 10 slow inhales, 10 slow exhales. Each one counted not as duty, but as a declaration. You're here. The room can be dark. Maybe there's a clock ticking in another room. The hum of the fridge, life moving, but not rushing you. Your spine settles in, shoulders drop. The cold air bites a little at the tip of your nose on the inhale. Warmth returns with each exhale. No need to perform this. No show for the world. Just breath. 10 in, 10 out. Notice how even now, that kind of quiet asks less of you, but gives back more than anything digital ever could. It's like a stone set at the foundation before building your house. Breath as blueprint, breath as perimeter line. Your nervous system feels it first, cool, clear, measured. You signal to every cell, I am not reacting, I am setting order. And when the world tries to come in sideways, when you have the big meeting, or you feel the pressure to get ahead, you meet it steady, grounded, like the entrepreneur who started here, who walked into chaos with calm eyes, who radiated steadiness that clients could feel in their bones. Nothing dramatic, just order beneath the noise. Let that land. Sufis call breath the bridge to the infinite. Each inhale, a piece of life received. Each exhale, an offering back. Money, too, works this way. What fills and empties, cycles and renews. But you already know this. It's the simplest things, repeated with discipline, that change the whole day. So tomorrow, make no grand plans. Sit, breathe, feel the cool moving in, the warmth moving out. 10 in, 10 out. Do it like there's nothing to prove. That's the discipline. What if your real wealth wasn't in your investments, but in your attention? What if 5 minutes of quiet focus did more for your future than hours of busy effort? What if most of the scattered energy you feel isn't a flaw, but a signal, telling you exactly where to reclaim your power? Sit with that. Every day, the world gives you 1,000 reasons to scatter. Notifications, news, demands that don't belong to you. There is no shortage of things reaching for your mind. Most people drift through their morning on autopilot, hands busy, thoughts tangled, attention rented out by the hour. It's easy to think this is just life. But underneath all of that activity, you already know your deepest currency is where you place your gaze, where you allow energy to flow. So here's the ritual. Mid-morning, before your mind spins too far from center, pause. 5 minutes, take a seat, write down, without editing, what's claimed your attention so far today. Replay the movie of your last few hours. Was it your priorities or someone else's noise? Did you build or did you buffer? This isn't about shame, it's a map. The simple act of noticing cuts through the fog. That's the discipline. Let's use a lens from old wisdom, as within, so without. If your attention is scattered, your results will mirror that. If your attention is focused, even slightly, the field around you begins to organize. Wealth isn't just about what you do. It's about what you leak. When a creative eye worked with traded reactive scrolling for 5 minutes of poetry, her mood shifted, her output doubled. There's no algorithm for that. Picture your energy as water. You can sprinkle it over a wide field, quick, forgettable, soon dry, or you can water one tree every day. Watch it bear fruit. You're not here to be everywhere. You are here to tend one garden, one intention at a time. This isn't about motivation. If you want a cue for reclaiming scattered attention, try this. Close your eyes. Picture every thought, every stress, every unfinished loop as tiny threads in the air. See yourself gently gathering them, one by one, back to your center. Like drawing your breath into your chest. Feel your mind get quieter, fewer leaks, more life. Hold that image, let it settle. When you check your attention, even just for a few breaths, you declare sovereignty over your day. You acknowledge what matters and what never did. Maybe you'll need to say no, maybe just once, maybe 1,000 times. Every time you do, your wealth grows. Not because you chased it, not because you forced it, but because you chose, and chose again. Let that land. What if wealth never belonged to the man who grabbed, but to the one who overflowed? What if real prosperity didn't come from accumulation, but from quiet, consistent release? What if every small act of giving was a signal, not to the world, but to yourself? I already have enough. Most people hear about generosity and think about big donations, dramatic gestures, but that's not what builds inner wealth. Inner wealth is subtle. It's crafted in the ordinary. Slowly, deliberately, like putting a brick in a foundation every day. Not for applause, but for structure. Picture this. You buy a coffee for someone behind you once a week, not to impress, not for a story, just because. That moment, the $5 gonit, isn't loss. It's a signal, you're saying. I trust the flow. I trust there's always more than enough. And maybe you don't feel it yet, but you're retraining your identity. With every act, you're becoming the kind of person who gives because he's full, not because he's told to. There's a principle buried deep in old wisdom. In Kabbalistic thought, for example, they say the vessel receives only when it opens. The more tightly you try to grab, the less you hold. Hoarding is stagnation. Think of water stuck in a bucket all summer. It doesn't turn to gold, it sours. Generosity is opening the bucket to the rain, making room for what's new. Circulation is how life breathes. But generosity isn't just about money. It's in your attention, how fully you listen, the care in your thank you, the warmth in your glance. A moment of silent presence, a real compliment. The funny thing is, the currency doesn't matter. It's the current, the flow. You become a node in that flow. That's the discipline. Let that land. Ritualizing this isn't dramatic. It could be as small as holding the door, a direct look, a phone put face down so you're truly present. These little moments, done with care, they add up. Each one affirms, I give because I am full. As I give, I receive. Say that under your breath if you need to. As I give, I receive. It isn't positive thinking. It's a nervous system ritual. Tonight, before your head hits the pillow, just scan your day. Where did you give freely, without strategy? Where could you be more open tomorrow? It's not about being noticed. There's nothing to prove. It's the open hand that receives what the clenched fist will never touch. Let's gather the threads, breath by breath, simple, patient. There was the morning breath ceremony. That's where stillness begins, before any thought, before the noise of who you think you need to be. Each inhale reminds you, I decide my rhythm. Each exhale lets you leave yesterday behind. You already know this. Then came the attention audit. Your mind is not just a machine. It's a gate. Where your eyes rest, your life moves. The discipline is asking, what gets in, what stays out? You don't need 1,000 strategies, just one clear door that only you can open. Let that land and the generosity anchor. Most people grip so hard to what's theirs, not realizing what you're willing to give, you're ready to receive, multiplied. It's not about giving beyond your means. It's about living as one who is not lacking. Give a smile, share, quiet, hold a door. Let that echo. These aren't rules, these are reminders. 3 simple rituals, not for show, but for you. They're not harsh disciplines, not secret formulas, just ways of holding yourself present, available, generous. Imagine standing on stone feet, grounded, shoulders unburdened. You're not running after wealth, you're not chasing provision. You're letting the river find you, because you already know water runs to the lowest, clearest places. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to be loud. Practice even one thing from today. Breathe before you speak. Watch your attention. Offer what you can. See what returns. Let these vows be your stone for the day. I stand still in truth. I stand still in truth. I give without fear. I give without fear. I guard my mind like gold. I guard my mind like gold. I remember, nothing real can be taken. I remember, nothing real can be taken. I am a steward of what's sacred. I am a steward of what's sacred. I let wealth become the ground beneath me. I let wealth become the ground beneath me. I breathe as one already provided for. I breathe as one already provided for. I act with clean hands, open heart. I act with clean hands, open heart. And 3 times, quietly, I lead from clarity. I lead from clarity. I lead from clarity. You are already home. Let that breathe.